Okay.
I'd like the meeting to call the Hellertown, oh, hold on, pause that, we got to do something. Okay, so. Yeah, that was that call. There's an error. I'd like to call the Hellertown Borough Council meeting to order. If everybody could please rise for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. The public is advised that the Hellertown Borough Public Meeting is being recorded for transcription purposes only and is intended only for the use of the Borough Secretary in transcribing the official meeting minutes. The tape is made solely for the employee's own personal use and does not have an official purpose. As has been customary for a very long time, our meeting is being live streamed to the Facebook platform and available via two-way participation from the Zoom platform. For those individuals participating via Zoom, we do ask you to govern your mute button accordingly. And if at any time during the meeting, please raise your hand, or if that section's the agenda, please feel free to speak up. Roll call, please.
Mayor Heisman is absent with prior notification. Mr. Rieger.
Here.
Ms. Fadum.
Here.
Ms. Solp. Here. Mr. McKenna.
Here.
Mr. Marcinson.
Here.
Ms. Thompson. Here. Mr. Hughes.
Here.
Thank you. Also in attendance, Mike Corriere, Brian Smith, Kathy Hartrath, Jim Badinger. Tina Krasansky is absent with prior notification. Variani is also absent with prior notification, and our zoning and codes is absent with prior notification.
All right, thank you, Kathy. Moving right along, we have a motion on tonight's agenda.
So moved.
Second.
First from Andrew, second from Liz. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed, no. Hearing none, the motion carries. Approval of the meeting minutes from April 21st.
Make a motion.
Second.
First from Mike, second from Lindley. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed, no. Hearing none, the motion carries. Moving right along, we have no pre-scheduled appearances. Do we have any citizen comment from the room on agenda items? Jason?
I have a follow-up from last time I was here.
Sure.
May I present?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. So, but you guys know I was here about 5-6 weeks ago for an issue that's been going on for 27 months now. 27 months and 27 and a quarter months. I kind of rambled on last time, so I'm gonna keep it nice and short and sweet this time. We go over 3 key points, right? First one is just lost my notes. First one is indifference. And indifference, what I'm referring to is the police indifference, which happened on Saturday night. I called at about 10:45, requesting an officer to come to my house to get me up on the speed because no one has kept in touch with me about anything that since last time. I asked our new hire to come out, the new hire that has 2 ongoing court cases in Northampton County, but we'll skip that. So I asked her to come out and she refused to come out and then started challenging me to call the county if I wanted her to come out. I called the county, who then called you guys, and she still refused to come out. I looked that up, and that is teetering on police indifference, which has not panned out, and it's people have been murdered because of it and stuff like that. I would think that somebody who's only been here for 9 months doesn't have the authority to start deeming what they are going to reply to, especially when nothing is going on in town. And I very politely asked her to come 3 blocks to my house. So we're not going to go anymore on that. But what we are going to continue is the thing that I've been asking you guys about for months and months and months. And if I may, I'm going to give everybody copies of the things I made today, showing you your borough ordinance, the county ordinances, and the state's ordinances. And we're all going to go over how this should have been handled at the very most in 15 days. Certain things should have been handled in 24 hours or 48 hours. And we're all going to be on the same page so we can all have the same exact thing in front of us, okay? I called 2 weeks after we spoke about this at Dewey. I watched 3 inhabitants of said property push a non-functioning, non-registered car into the street. I told that I'd made the police known about it. For some reason, they came and they took, you guys pass this around, please. You guys came and took the stickers, which were fraudulent and ill-gotten, that were on the thing, because the thing hasn't moved in 3 years. It hasn't been operable for 3 years, right? The, pass this around, good. Car hasn't moved in 3 years. Somehow it had things for up until May of next year. They were scraped off 3.5 weeks ago. Are still sitting there as we speak. Thank you so much for passing. So, as we look at our notes here, I don't know if you guys want to start with your ordinance or the county ordinance, and no one, and when I've asked numerous times in the past couple of weeks, has been able to give me any of these things or any information or anything. I had to do all of this on my own, which I was told to Google on Saturday night, which I did. Okay, which is why you're seeing all these things. These are all Google results. 27.25 months. No one's been able to do anything. It took me 15 minutes to come up with all of this. Oh, I went to Staples, that took a little longer too. So. The car that's been there for 3.5 weeks, that's
Is this car on the road?
on the road. We're not, so we're gonna cover the one that's on the road and why that hasn't been taken off of the road. Why there's no repercussions for ill-gotten stickers, like, cause I feel if I had stickers that were fake. Something should probably happen to me because I got stickers that are fraudulent, but. So that car's been on the thing for 3.5 weeks, not moving. A vehicle that is physically inoperable, left unattended on a highway or public property for no more than 48 hours. Now, that's the one that's on the road. The other one that's been in the driveway for 2 years, that's been inoperable as well. Nothing's going on with that. There is 3 inoperable motorcycles. Oh, we're gonna get there. There's 3 inoperable motorcycles under a 10x10 tent, which have all been there for years and years and years. So we're up to, oh, there's a trailer, there's 2 SUVs. 6, 7, 8, and 1 on the street. Now, if we look on here in 430, which is your ordinance 430-1 and 430-2. Is this the junk? Is this the junk and nuisance one? I'm sorry, I think I might have given you my thing by accident. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
May I look at that, please?
Absolutely, sir.
Thank you. So. If we look at your specific ordinance,
This is the one with vehicle jump at the
Yep.
top.
junk vehicle, blah, 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 it's a nuisance vehicle. And if you check, there's 3 different other things all pertaining to this exact ordinance, okay? The ones in the back on private property should have been handled within 15 days, okay? I've been being told by Mr. Courier for the past couple of weeks, I've been going to you guys exclusively for this, and I have the paper trail proving it since February of 2023, right? 15 days, no more than excess of 15 days. Now, Mr. Courier, you as a solicitor, when I looked up today, is your public thing is to notify the mayor and the council of any legal things that have to deal with nuisances, anything where it has to be obligations, I believe I saw as well, ordinances, you're under all of those things, right? 15 days, 27.25 months. 48 hours, 3.5 weeks, nothing's happened. So I would like to know, there's like, so that's what my next point is, and I'm sorry, I'm rambling. Going to accountability. What's going on? Why is a car that should not be there still there 3.5 weeks later? State, borough, county, you all see it. I didn't make it up. I didn't print this out. This is all going on. There's a lot of people that I'm looking at
Okay,
who specifically are supposed to be handling these
which one would you
issues.
like to address first?
I would like to address the accountability. This is going to tie into my last
Well,
thing.
I think because they're 2 separate situations.
Hmm.
So would you like to address the vehicles on the property?
That has been,
First.
that's so, I would like to address the fact of why that hasn't been taken care of
Okay, well,
for
let's
two-
now-
Yeah,
27 months.
We can take care of that, so.
It's been in judicial stuff and stuff in the county when it seems like the county shouldn't be handling this because if you have your own ordinance and if you look on the paper, the police are in charge of handling this.
Two separate matters. One is a civil matter, it's called an equity action, when
Mm.
somebody's in violation of the property maintenance code.
Mm.
So Chris, our former zoning officer, cited the person in 2023 and 2024
Mm.
at the magistrate. criminal.
Mm.
The individual would simply pay the fine.
Mm.
And there was never ever a hearing.
I know,
We
it
just
perpetuates the
paid.
cycle, which is
Right.
getting us
So
nowhere.
that's when Chris contacted me, so we filed an equity action saying he's in violation of property maintenance code. Had a big hearing, went to court, I don't know, 6 months ago or so.
Oh,
And the judge gave, because the law says the judge has to give him, an order was entered and gave him 30 days to get the property off the premises or enclosed structure.
So what
We didn't
happened
do
to
it.
what
So we
happened for
went
the
back.
past 2+ years though?
We went, well, it was in the magistrates in 2023 and 2024, and then we filed.
But what about your ordinance saying that the police have the authority to do so and pull it and do
Okay,
it?
well, we're talking first, we're still on the equity action. An equity action is a civil action, it's a violation of a property code and non.
Okay.
Ordinance.
That's good. And you're telling me the legal jargon, but you're not telling me as to why nothing,
please?
you're not
Because
telling me as to why
because-
nothing has been
Because
done.
he's violating the judge's order and the judge fined him, he went back to court sometime in March. And the judge fined him $5,000
Mm.
and said, if we come back again, we can ask for his incarceration. And we're gonna have he has not, he gave him another 30 days, he didn't do it.
Oh.
And we're scheduled to go back to court, depending on Judge Daly's schedule in the beginning of June. Which I had told you that I was gonna contact you if you wanted to be a witness in addition to our zoning officer. You could testify that the guy's not moving the property and you live there.
But why now it's more stuff that I have to do.
You don't have to be a witness, I thought you wanted to.
But this is again more, I'm gonna have to take time off work.
Well, you don't
I'm gonna
have
do
to.
this, I'm gonna do this. Why am I doing other people's jobs? Why hasn't this, so let's not, I'm not gonna get into all this. Why hasn't this, if I showed you all of these things and ordinances and legislations and stuff, why has it taken so long to do this? Because it says in black and white right here, the amount of allotted time and stuff like that. Can I have an answer as to why that's taking so long?
That's citation where if he doesn't do things, then you can take him to court
Mm,
and have him fined by the magistrate, which is what Chris was doing. But the problem is if you don't even ask for a hearing and you just pay the $300 fine, it there's no enforcement mechanism.
Perpetuates the
So
cycle and
Yeah,
allows them
because
to.
if you pay it, you gotta assume again, because he has to.
So what you're saying is you're just kind of enabling the cycle to keep going on, perpetuating for years.
No, that's why we.
That's not
did
what
the
he's saying.
No,
that's
what he's
why we
saying
did
is
the equity action.
Because that's why the equity action was filed, so it can stop. Unfortunately, we could have kept fining him under the magistrate. He would have paid the fine. It would be going in perpetuity. At least there is a end in sight per
Right.
se.
And,
Which is what Chris told me like 2 years ago.
and.
But it's been, unfortunately, it takes,
Well, you have to get the order first, then he has to violate it, and gets a fine, now we're talking jail or the borough, if the borough wants permission to go on his property and remove the vehicles, then our cost would be put on his property.
But so again, like I just asked again, you said that and you keep saying, and you've said it for years, but nothing is happening and it can't be in red tape in the county. I don't understand how it can be that long. Because there's a bunch of other things that have happened and said residents that have already been gone through.
He's
so-
been cited multiple times, but that was at the magistrate, so that was thwarted by him saying, you know what, I'm just gonna pay the fine, I'm not gonna do anything.
Hmm.
So now he can't do that anymore, because the judge won't accept that, because the judge has already found him in contempt. And said to come back, we could ask for more than 5,000 next time, and we can ask for incarceration and or permission to go onto the property to remove those vehicles.
Hmm.
So that's gonna be sometime in the beginning of June. I just gotta check with the court's schedule, because there's a specific judge who's assigned to this case.
Okay, well,
And
then,
then there's the other issue about the vehicle on the roadway. That's separate.
So after you came to that meeting a couple weeks ago,
Mhm.
I spoke to you the next day, correct?
yeah, and you said that he had something in the works, which was.
That was for the private property. Then you told me about the car they rolled off of the Subaru you're talking about, that's
Yes.
in the roadway.
Bingo.
And I sent an officer out that day.
Just great, don't think of, I saw,
There are criminal charges filed now.
but nobody told me. This is
I'm
what I
sorry?
asked- At the last meeting, I asked for transparency and anyone to keep up with me on this and
I've
nobody.
spoken to you more than once since. You and I spoke. I could show you my caller ID. We've spoken multiple times.
Was that in the emails that I sent too, where I was saying about how he was revving the engine and his bike and doing the noise ordinance thing?
Okay?
Nothing ever came about that.
We have to see it when it's
I sent
happening.
the video, it sound to you and the timestamp, but.
Right, I get that, but to be able to do an noise ordinance, you have to have a decibel meter involved.
Well, if he parked the bike, how would it have possibly been possible? But you could tell the video that I sent you that he definitely had the thing redlined, so there's no possible way that was below 50 decibels.
But I have to be able to testify in the court, the officer would have to be able to testify to that court, and just by saying, oh, I know it is, doesn't work in court. You need to have the proof of the decibel meter.
But again, like.
But I get what you're saying,
So we're
and
still talking about the same residents and the same perpetuating cycle of,
the ultimate goal is to get compliance, is to get that vehicle out of there, to get the vehicles off of the property. We have to follow the law. We have to do things. I wish I could go in and tow the cars whenever we want, I do. But when we abandon a vehicle, we have to put a sticker on it. We have to send notifications.
Still, that's a very good thing to remind me. 332 Cedar Drive, I'm doing a drive right across it. I watched, again, same thing, I watched somebody push a Datsun off, right? Parked the opposite way on Cedar Drive. No stickers, not totally not running, so on and so forth, right? There's a big old red sticker on the driver's side door. And then I watched it get towed away on Friday afternoon, and that was all within the course of a week. So what is different between that said Datsun, that I watched all of this happen from Monday to Friday, to over here that's been going on for years?
I don't know about the old one, but I could talk about the Subaru that we were just talking about before you started a new story. So we're, the ultimate job is to get compliance, correct?
Mhm.
You want the cars off the property, so it's not an eyesore for yourself. You want the vehicles off the roadway, so they're not an eyesore.
Absolutely, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So it's to get compliance. The registered owner of that vehicle is an elderly woman. Okay? But the fact of the matter is, she told us it was gonna be removed. We gave her the benefit of the doubt. Maybe we shouldn't have, and we should have abandoned it that day. Unfortunately, because nothing has been done, there have been criminal charges filed against her. The owner of the vehicle. That process takes time. By the time the charges are filed, right, you're looking 30 days probably easily. Before anything even happens, before it even gets scheduled and before the local
So
magistrate.
when he goes and pays the fine and whatever other stuff, then.
Well, tomorrow, again, because the vehicle's still there, it's gonna be abandoned tomorrow. I will make sure an officer's out there first thing in the morning and we will abandon the vehicle. If it's not running, it's not registered or insured or inspected, yeah, that meets the criteria. I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Well, why is it taking so long? That's, I'm.
Because everything takes process, it does. So we did not abandon the Subaru that day when you and I spoke and I sent an officer out.
Mhm.
We spoke to the elderly woman, like I said. She said she was gonna have it moved that day. She didn't have the means as far as not running. She agreed with that. She's now been charged criminally. That's a process we have to do. We can't just go and tow a vehicle. We have to send letters. We have to, this is all part of the
Well,
process.
several councils and several chiefs and stuff like that have all known that this has been going on for a long time. Why we keep giving these people the benefit of the doubt after it's been decades of transgressions, I'm not quite sure.
This one is kind of my call because I'm not up for a 70-something-year-old woman, being punished for maybe the acts of her children or whoever else lives in the household.
And she should,
But
because
she is, but she's now being held accountable for it.
But she's not the homeowner. The person that we keep speaking of is the
But it's
homeowner.
It's her car.
But it's her
It's her
car,
car.
so legally she's responsible.
Because it's on the street. I got you.
Yeah, so it's not on, so that's where the benefit of the doubt is giving the elderly woman a few weeks to get the money together to get rid of it. Unfortunately, she did not do it.
Now she's
And-
being charged criminally.
And the equity action on the property owner is a completely different
Right.
beast. Which is the ultimate goal, is to stop it, because we could keep citing him, keep doing all that, but he's just gonna pay the fine and move on.
I get it. I understand you have a way it has to be handled, and I've been told that numerous times, but I'm just wondering, like, after I showed you guys on paper, why? And no one's still able to tell me, except for that in the judicial system, it takes time. But you see the amount of time it's supposed to take.
Well, we
That's all.
certainly apologize for the time it is taking, but we're trying to go
Right.
through the steps to bring that property into compliance, and that would be removing all those vehicles
Right.
that are abandoned. Not just
I've been
collecting
asking
money off of fines.
The whole
So,
time.
I think that's your goal too, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's,
And I've actually talked to a couple of people, it's not just me, I've ran into a couple of people in the neighborhood recently, and I've sent some names
you
too.
know,
Who have been asking and telling me other stories that they've been dealing with this for upwards of 20 years as well. So I think this has been given well more than enough time to be able to handle. So I just wanted to bring this all to everybody's attention, and hopefully maybe we can have some kind of resolution to this. Is that possible in the future?
It sounds
like
it sounds like the two issues. One, it should be on Judge Daly's schedule early June
Yeah.
for the equity, and then the,
I don't know when the charges are,
Yeah.
I mean, I know when they were filed, but I don't know when the court hearing is.
so.
But when we determine when the court hearing is, we can
I'm
inform
gonna
this
reach out.
gentleman.
No, two different things, so
Yeah.
criminal charges on
Yeah.
the car on the thing, equity action on the property owner. Okay, so equity answer on the equity action on the property. Please call Jason on that court matter, and can you let Jason know on the criminal
We've spoken
charges?
a few times
Okay.
since.
I know, but we've all spoken, I appreciate that, but I want results, I don't want any more answers, I want results.
Well, again, we have to follow the law and what we have to do
I
to
get it,
by the law.
I get it, but it's,
I appreciate that, Jason.
thank
Thank
you.
Thank you. All right, I think we did both kind of non-agenda and agenda items there, so is there anyone else? Mr. Hill. Somebody dropped the phone. I don't know if it was you, Earl, or Jason.
That was his hat.
Okay.
Allowed hat.
No, the Jason dropped his phone too at the same time.
Can't hear you guys. I'm here for one thing, the agenda, moving that shed up in the field is something we settled 2 years ago. I thought it settled 2 years ago. And I was back at me trying to put the shed up on, in the ball field where it's open space. Where the guys our staff keeps a great, keep that park looking good, and I don't want it to change. I'm a resident up there, and I think the shed should stay where it's at. I mean, now where it's at, it's out of sight, it's out of mind. Yes, they may have trouble getting their tractor over the ditch, and if they do, put a ramp over the ditch, temporary to get it done. Not move a shed that has, big concrete blocks behind it with the ground and everything else behind it. I did drive up today and look, as I used to do when I was on council. I go look at the things. So I hope you guys do. And I really don't want to see that. As a resident up there, I don't want to see the park cluttered with sheds. Leave the shed where it's at. It's not hurting anything. It may take a little longer to get your equipment there. That's part of fixing the fields. So I appreciate if you guys shoot.
Thank you, Earl. Anyone else from the room?
I have, I think it's on an agenda item. Or it may not be. We tabled last meeting, the payment to Cobalt for Dimmick Park basketball swale and grading project. I did look directly before this meeting and the bollards have not yet been touched. In fact, the paint chipping off of them actually looks worse today than it did last time I saw it. So I do plan on suggesting that we table that or have a discussion.
We can certainly have a discussion and give you an update on that.
Yeah.
So if you want to do it now or wait till then.
You wanna let it
We
know?
can-
it is listed under unfinished business.
I thought I saw it, but then I couldn't see it, and then I started,
I don't know, my internet keeps going out, so it's all good. So.
there you go. And then also just not on, non-agenda topic, on April 23rd, council members Andrew Hughes and I did attend the sentencing of the former chiefs. Interestingly, according to the judge, the former chief initially cited political pressure from the borough mayor and the borough council president as the reason for his time card fraud. Now that the court case is behind us, I'd like our residents to have the truth. And so there are some questions that I still have and that our residents still have that I would love answers to. Why were the charges for the over $80,000 in time card fraud really dropped? What checks and balances were not followed that allowed the theft to happen? And what controls have been updated or now being followed to give our residents peace of mind that this will not happen again?
Yeah, I also have some comments relative to the former police chief, if I may.
Sure.
As a borough council representative, I have been approached by many residents seeking clarity regarding the situation involving the former police chief and the Hellertown Police Department. The public wants to know who else was involved. Most importantly, what measures are being implemented to prevent such issues from happening again. For the past 18 months, my message has been consistent. We must allow all the facts to come to light, permit ongoing investigation and reviews to run their course, and avoid interfering with any legal proceedings. This process has been complex, with each new discovery revealing additional challenges. Throughout, I have urged patience and stressed the importance of gathering comprehensive information before making significant decisions. Now, the time has come to be completely transparent with our community. Mistakes happen. We are all human. However, it is essential that we acknowledge them, take responsibility for them, and work diligently to prevent their reoccurrence. This is the purpose of our systems of accountability. Checks and balances. What went wrong? Many have asked, how could one person cause so much harm? Shouldn't there have been safeguards to prevent this? The answer is yes. In our borough, the mayor serves as the administrative head and the civilian oversight for the police department. While authority can be delegated, responsibility cannot. It remains with the individual entrusted by the people to lead. What we know. The borough mayor directly manages the chief of police, which includes setting performance goals, conducting annual reviews, and approving time cards. During my tenure on borough council, including executive sessions and public meetings, the mayor never disclosed concerns about the former police chief or the operational deficiencies within the Hellertown Police Department. However, investigations have since revealed that the mayor was aware of significant issues for an extended period, including the former chief's absences, fraudulent time card practices, and the broader operational failures within the HPD. After the completion of legal discovery, the district attorney's office determined that the former police chief's fraudulent time card submissions did not constitute criminal acts, as they've been effectively approved by the mayor's lack of action. Unanswered questions. Why has the mayor maintained unwavering support for the former chief, Robert Shoup, throughout this process? Why did the ranking HPD officer in a letter to council report that the mayor attempted to interfere with the criminal investigation and withhold criminal information from both council and the public regarding the former chief's actions? Why did the mayor repeatedly attempt to resolve this matter outside the justice system during the criminal court process? Why was the mayor absent from the former chief's sentencing? The sentencing my colleague just made reference to just 2 weeks ago. As the borough's chief representative, one would expect a public response when such harm has been caused by a direct report. When will the mayor be transparent about his role and responsibility in these events? Why does he continue to present a revisionist version of events that contradicts documented evidence? So who is ultimately responsible besides the bad actor? To answer the persistent question, who else is responsible? Who is supposed to safeguard the public trust? The answer is clear. It is the borough mayor. As civilian oversight for HPD operations, he bore ultimate responsibility for ensuring accountability within the police department, and he failed in this critical role. Moving forward, leadership needs to be transparent with our community. We must collectively learn from these failures, hold elected officials to a higher standard, and implement stronger checks and balances to restore the trust of our community. Our work is not yet done. Thank you.
If the mayor is unable to attend council meetings or willing to stay for council meetings, I would, and I do believe that there are at least one other person sitting around this table that could answer some of these questions. But I think that perhaps we need a special session where Borough Council and our residents are able to ask our mayor and the other leadership within the council what happened and get the truth. I think our residents deserve that.
And he's up for re-election, isn't he?
I believe there are a couple people that are up for re-election who have some answers.
Interesting.
I'm not gonna dignify a response, Liz.
I believe
mean,
that our residents deserve the truth, Tom.
I've done nothing wrong. So I believe the article that you gave that quote to was Borough Council and the mayor. So that was the first time that you called me out individually.
You said you weren't gonna dignify it.
So no, but here you go, okay? I don't know why. Number one. I had emergency tooth extraction that morning, Liz, okay?
The morning of the.
Sentencing hearing, yes, I did. Okay, and you knew I was having tooth problems on Monday night before council, because we talked about root canals. Okay, I was on standby, I had a tooth extracted shortly before noon that morning. I was on standby to go down to the dentist's office, okay?
What did
That's
I say
why
this
I
evening?
wasn't there.
I didn't say anything this evening about your presence at the sentencing.
Yes, you did.
This evening, I said nothing about your presence at the sentencing or lack thereof. Today, I made a statement that myself and another council member were there and that I believe, here, I'll read it again. On April 23rd, council member Andrew Hughes and I attended the sentencing of the former chief. Interestingly, according to the judge, the former chief initially cited political pressure from the borough mayor and the borough council president as a reason for his time card fraud. Now that the court case is behind us, I'd like our residents to have the truth. Why were the charges for over $80,000 in time card fraud really dropped? What checks and balances were not followed that allowed the theft to happen? What controls have been updated or now being followed to give our residents peace of mind that this will not happen again? No place in my statement did I say anything about you not being at the sentencing. No
Oh,
place
that's
in that
right, it
sentence.
was on your Facebook post.
Yes,
That's right,
but not
that's
tonight.
That's right, it was on your Facebook,
I can answer the one question.
Yeah.
So we had a meeting with
That's
the
right.
DA and Jeff was more involved, but the 80,000 was because there was insufficient evidence
Right.
of a crime. What happens in the sentencing phrase, they get when the judge cites the stuff, they have what's called a pre-sentence investigation. So council gets to give its statements, the chief shook gets to give his statements as to like why he did what he did. That's not necessarily, that's what he says initially when he's interviewed by the police or by the probation officer. That's just his position. The court doesn't really take into consideration that because he pled guilty.
Yeah.
So that leads to your question. I'm sure what the judge was citing from.
I had a question about that. That was a statement that the judge made on that day.
Right, so he probably was referring to the pre-sentence investigation report. Just in my experience, I wasn't there, but that's.
Yeah, I'm questioning where it came from. I'm
And I
just-
have no idea, I'm looking you right in the, I have no idea what he's talking about, political pressure. I think we all gave pressure for him to do a job, which apparently we was not doing, but I have no idea what he was talking about.
I just want to, again, for the record, say, I just made a statement that was what the former chief initially cited. But
Okay.
now that the case
And I-
is behind us, excuse me, can I speak, please?
Maybe, sure.
No, it's not a maybe. I am an elected official, and if you want to continue to silence me, you are silencing our citizens by not allowing me
Then
to.
talk,
Are you gonna let me speak?
sure.
Excuse me. My questions were, why were the charges for the over 80,000 in time card fraud really dropped? What checks and balances were not followed that allowed the theft to happen? What controls have been updated or are now being followed to give our residents peace of mind that this will not happen again?
So Mike answered A, Okay, can we agree Mike answered question one?
No, because I want to know, and I want our residents to know why the time card fraud was dropped. What was the rationale that was given as part of the plea agreement that $80,000 was dropped?
I don't think it was part of the plea agreement because it wasn't part of the charges.
They were dropped
They didn't pursue on it.
and why was that?
Insufficient evidence according to the DA. In other words, they couldn't prove
Beyond a reasonable doubt.
That he acted alone.
No, they couldn't prove if it was authorized or not.
Right.
Because they didn't have.
And not acted alone, so you're throwing out an accusation there that he did not act alone. It could not be proven by a reasonable doubt. And therefore, the DA's recommendation was to plea him out on the other 3 felonies in order to get some type of justice. That was the
Yeah, and the
DA's.
other thing the DA said, the 80,000 was certainly more like, could be a civil issue for recoupment.
Right.
But didn't rise to the level of criminal intent where, because the issue was, well, the chief said, well, you let me do it, and it was authorized by not doing anything. So there was an issue about whether he thought it was authorized or not, or he could do it by past practice.
Or as the judge said, he was allowed to steal that money. It was allowed.
That's it, but that's what the DA.
It was allowed
That's
to
what the
happen.
DA told me as to why they felt if they couldn't prove beyond a reasonable doubt, he had the intent to quote defraud.
So Liz, with disrespect here, that question really goes to his manager, police chief's manager, who is the mayor. Right, the mayor has to respond, the mayor in the borough system has 1 employee, it's the chief of police. The mayor has the responsibility to set performance goals, conduct annual reviews, handle their time card. So if the mayor is not doing those things, hence to the solicitor's point, you can't really prove that was a criminal act. So I had made comments that it wasn't a criminal act because fundamentally, in my opinion, the mayor didn't do his managerial job of managing the police chief. So when all this information went to the district attorney's office, they looked at it and said, to Dom's point, not a reasonable doubt there, right? Because it looks like it was all approved by the mayor. And if I think functionally, it was approved by the mayor. It shouldn't have been, but it was. Again, my point, that's really the mayor needs to speak to. Why he basically gave a 3-time convicted felon police chief an $80,000 bonus.
So-
That question I think goes to the mayor.
I can't answer that. All I can tell you is it was not provable by unreasonable doubt, and that's why this body agreed to a plea.
To Andrew's point, the timesheets for that time were submitted and passed through. So that, to your point, that's one of the reasons the DA cited. That's why we can't say it's fine, where he took it and didn't disclose it.
So then that speaks to the $80,000 bonus that has been paid to the former chief.
That's the 80,000, not the 41,000.
Right, so 2/3 of the money that has been taken from our borough residents is a gift for time not worked or earned. I feel as if there's probably more to it. So then maybe it is I think I'll put back, well, I never took it off the table. That we ask the mayor to answer questions from our residents in a public forum. That can be scheduled at an evening that works for him, since he has not been able to attend council meetings of late, that we find another day and time.
Well, there's certain members of this body that haven't attended council meetings in 5 months either. So, I mean, stuff happens, right? Sorry, it's stuff. Sorry.
They just bleeped out.
Yeah, bleeped out, Facebook bleep. Stuff happens where you can't attend things, right? Life happens, life moves on. So
That's why I'm asking that we schedule something that works for the mayor for when he can attend,
why don't you ask the mayor?
I said, we'll put that question in there.
if he shows up.
I'll still put the question to the mayor.
It's all right. Do we also, is also solely on the mayor to answer what controls have been updated or are now being followed to give our residents peace of mind that this won't happen again?
Can I speak on that? Doing payroll? Just to give you my end of what has changed since I started. what had used to take me 2 hours to do payroll takes me 4 now because I go through the entire schedule. Compare it to the computer, compare it to the timesheet. So there's triple checking going on. And I just felt, because I do payroll on my end of it, that's what has changed on that.
And
end.
all time sheets
All
are
time.
signed
Yes,
prior to the process.
And then-
Prior to Holly doing it, I spend about, so like Monday is payday. Today was only about 2 hours myself doing payroll for the police department. I then passed to her to double, triple check me for any errors that I might make, because I am human. Although today I did pretty good, I might say myself.
Usually 4 hours.
But no, so we do a power time, which is where we keep all our hours, which I believe everybody has visual eyes on. You do, I know you do, you're in the system, you have access to it.
Nobody's provided me.
But anyway, and then I'm as transparent as could be, I submit my.
Correct me if I'm wrong too, the chief gets paid his salary now,
Correct.
correct? There's no.
So
It's a salary, there's no,
here might be one thing that, and I don't know this with the former. Mr. Correa, maybe you can explain this with the time theft. Was he or was he not submitting overtime payments, which was county drug task force submissions?
I believe that's part of it, yeah.
So that's something separate from the borough in and of itself. Technically, I cannot earn overtime. I'm not allowed to, I'm contracted as a salary.
As was the last chief.
But if I wanted to work county drug task force, I could and get overtime by the county paying me. And I believe from things that I've read, when I was looking at the shot and looking into it, he was submitting overtime through the county, through the drug task force for times that he said he was working, whether he was or wasn't, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess, you know, not to really get into that much detail, but I guess there's really like 3 pools of money, if you will.
correct,
right?
3
So-
different areas of charges to your point.
Yeah, right, so there was the theft of evidence, cash
That's-
evidence, that was a bucket, right?
Mhm.
Certainly the county money that you're speaking to. And then the bonus that was paid to him from the general fund, in addition to the salary that he wasn't entitled to. The $41,000 in restitution covered the first 2 items. You know, the recovery of the evidence, cash, and those county funds. Now, the county of Northampton, however, did make a decision, the court made the decision to actually send that $41,000, which is really more county money than borough money, to this borough. So you certainly appreciate that, and that is helpful. But it's the-
Who was signing the former chief's time cards from the borough? Right, was somebody responsible for signing them?
The mayor
mayor's
is
responsibility.
responsible for signing.
So he signed off on the fraudulent time cards,
Or did not.
Or did not.
Or
or did not sign? Did anybody know he wasn't signing them?
I know since I've been here, he signed every one of my time.
You haven't had it.
Well, I think it goes back to your point, Liz, the former chief did not have integrity nor trust, and he fooled a lot of people.
But it's not just him, if the time cards weren't being signed. I think our residents deserve to know the truth and why they're losing. Why they lost more than $80,000. And as a council, we have not addressed it because there has been pending litigation. And now's our opportunity for the transparency that folks say they are committed to having.
Yeah, just to requote myself, one of the things I indicated in my comments was now is the time to bring more of this to the surface because those legal proceedings have concluded. Because the last thing we ever wanted to do was interfere with those investigations or those proceedings. I think there's also something that I'm surprised I didn't hear about, your question on, improvements that are forthcoming. Last summer, this body authorized and funded a new timekeeping system for the borough to address better controls. I joke about moving to the 21st century. Certainly, we don't want our police chief spending 4 hours to do the job right. We want him spending 4 hours a week doing a compressor was 2 hours this week, but I think you'd share.
Well, last week I told you why, it's different.
Nor administrative.
But,
staff.
or the administrative staff, right, because that's expensive in itself. And, you know, I made comments earlier that, you know, we're all human, we make mistakes, that's just what we humans do. So you lean more on technology to help you out in those things. Now that effort's been, my understanding, it's been a little bit delayed for, you know, the transition from, you know, a bad actor to a quality chief.
I
And
can comment on that, though. On the
Please.
admin side, we're going admin and public works, park sanitation, we're going live on the second payroll in June.
I mean, that's good news, progress, to answer your question. So.
I know payroll in the police department is
Working with
No,
power time rate.
it's
and the-
not it's not your typical payroll, so I think
True.
that,
It's also not optional, it's something that needs to happen.
Correct,
all the time,
yeah.
right? The answer to the question about improvements that are ongoing, what's coming, so.
you, Chief, you wanna finish where you are with that, why Andrew brought it up?
Yeah, so I spoke to actually, Councilman Hughes last week at the last meeting at the end of it, was the day after. So power time, it's been in place, it's a schedule management payroll spend. We never had it set up to do payroll. It is very capable to do payroll. We pay via ISOL is the way the actual pay is actually done, company and the program they utilize. So long story short, I've been working with power time personnel to have it. I had to write the rules for the program to work so that we can do our timesheet will all be one-stop shop as opposed to me looking at the schedule, transferring it to a spreadsheet, printing that, going over the holiday, giving it the holiday sheet, overlooks the schedule on the spreadsheet and of itself. This is one-stop shop. It's all in the system. I just got through writing all the rules that need to be followed, like if, one example, when an officer gets an extra week's vacation, that has to be written in when that happens, when it occurs. Or if an officer works overtime, how that pay gets done, how it's calculated, at what rate, and things like that. So I write all the rules in it, which I did have them submitted to them. And it's a work in progress, because they sent something back to me late last week. I was off Friday, and then I didn't get a chance to even look at the answer with it. But it's one of those, it is, we've moved forward and we're getting there. I asked her last week, I can show you the email, if I was able, if we were able to go live this pay period. It's probably gonna be next pay period that we're gonna be able to, I wanna try it first, so we're gonna stick to the old way, just to make sure there's no changes or issues.
Parallel payrolls for the first time or
Yes,
two is
yes.
not a bad idea.
Pick and choose a couple people.
What's that?
Pick and choose a couple people.
That's exactly, yeah, I'm having a couple people do it, and we're gonna see how it works out. Should be very easy. It brings out the question where an officer might ask me for a vacation day, and then 2 months from now, they're like, well, I thought it was a personal day. Well, no, you submitted it, you actually verified your timesheet telling me it is good, then I go and verify it. And go from there.
And I think we have two very distinct units for the timekeeping system. We have the uniform department and the non-uniformed, and it seems like both are finally moving forward.
Unfortunately, a major occurrence occurred, but we're moving forward. Everything should be moving forward, and let's move on.
Great. And I'd like to make a motion that we, the council, either the president or our borough council or our borough manager, request a date and time from our mayor to have an open session to answer questions on the public about the theft of, or the fraudulent time card submissions.
I'll second that motion.
Let the record reflect, Mike stepped out to,
Oh, geez, I'm sorry.
he's coming back to hand the door.
And to note that the motion is so that we have transparency with our residents. Oh.
Can you repeat it, please, Liz?
Certainly, I would like a motion, or I am making a motion in order to get some transparency for the well-deserved transparency from our residents of Hellertown that we ask the mayor to find a date and time that is suitable for him some evening to answer questions about the chief's fraudulent time card submissions.
And then I second that motion.
Here, first from Liz, a second from Andrew. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed, no?
No,
No. Is that a no or a yes?
I don't oppose it, sorry.
Okay, so all right, so we can certainly, Kathy can drop an email.
Thank you. I appreciate the I vote for the folks who are committed to transparency for our residents.
All right. Reports from elected officials. I cannot make the Dewey meeting on Wednesday night. So is it, I know Lindley and I talked, and so can we maybe can we postpone it this month to next month? Andrew, I want to check with you.
Yeah, I think it's an excellent idea, Tom.
Sorry. All right, so
I may have a conflict next,
in
the
June.
first, the
Alright.
first Wednesday.
So we can always fill in, maybe Liz, if you're available in June, first Wednesday, maybe.
I probably could do that if needed.
So can you send an email to?
Okay.
And tell them we're not meeting on Wednesday night? I have nothing additional, Terry.
Thank
If you-
you. Sorry, I was just finding the unmute button. The Stock and Rail Trail Oversight Commission met on April 28th. There recently were some signs installed on the bridge, dedication plaques installed on the bridge at DeSales, the stone bridge. This was funded by individual contributions from Stock and Rail Trail Oversight Commission members. Also at this meeting, there was an Stock and Rail Trail e-bike policy. In keeping with the Pennsylvania DCNR policy, e-bikes are allowed on trails already open to traditional bicycles as long as e-bike users follow the guidelines consistent with the PA vehicle code. And under the final policy, an electric bicycle is a bicycle equipped with an electric motor that assists the rider when they are pedaling. E-bike users must also propel their e-bikes by pedaling on non-motorized trails. The use of throttle only functionality is not permitted on the Stock and Rail Trail. So to reiterate, mopeds or any other gas or / electric powered motorized vehicles are prohibited on the Stock and Rail Trail and subject to local law enforcement penalties. Also coming up on the rail trail is the Relay for Life, which will take place on Heritage Day. The day of the event is May 17th. It starts at 10 a.m. at Gristmill Park and will end at 3 p.m. The ending point is at Water Street Park. That's all I have for the rail trail. As far as my Climate Action Committee report, I would just like to encourage residents to carry reusable shopping bags, water bottles, and food containers wherever they go to help reduce single-use waste, plastic waste in the community. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Terry. Feel better.
Yes, please feel better.
Thank you.
Lindley.
Just a couple reminders for the Hellertown or Stock and Chamber. May 18th is the first Music in the Parks for the year with the band Toga Party. multiple food vendors and the Dewey Fire Company will be at the concession stand. And then on May 22nd, at 5:15, at Dimick Park, they're gonna be holding their honors and hors d'oeuvres to honor local, businesses in the community. So, two really great events for the chamber and for Hellertown.
Thank you.
Regular scheduled meeting is not until next Wednesday. Until then, I have nothing to report.
Thank you. Matt, anything to go to the order?
No, but I would like to apologize to council and to Hellertown for being absent. My life has changed. It's very hard for me to make Monday night meetings and you have my apologies.
Well, Matt, when you can make it, we certainly appreciate
Absolutely.
your. You are missed. Liz,
The Hellertown Planning Commission is scheduled to meet at the second Tuesday of the month, next Tuesday. And the Hellertown Historical Society has a few events coming up in the next couple of weeks. On May 17th, they have their Heritage Day, so a great opportunity. I believe there are gonna be some food truck vendors, some local craft vendors, activities for adults and kids alike. So please stop by. And on Tuesday, May 20th, they are having their annual bake sale being held at the Miller House, so right next to the polling location. So regardless of where you vote, please come out and vote and then stop by the Miller House for your delicious baked goods.
all right, thank you, Liz. Andrew?
Yes, the HAL monthly report. So HAL had a volunteer appreciation day this past Wednesday. It was a very good turnout and yummy cake, and even I partake, and it was just really good. So thank you for all the volunteers. HAL thanks all the volunteers, council thanks all the volunteers. That really helps the library to operate, so they're very much appreciated. In regards to the house building, efforts are moving forward for better storm management. We think we're close on adopting one of the proposals for some significant water management around the library. Technology, we're waiting on the last two computers, trying to get in before any tariffs or anything like that. Once those are received and installed, then all the computer technology in the library has been updated in the last year, everything. So that would conclude that. Primary events for May and June, I'm kind of putting them together for a reason. One, the book bike visits at Demick Park and Stories in the Park, Wednesday the 21st at 10:30. Bring a blanket, lawn chair, and join for Miss Andrea's stories. Certainly should be a lot of fun. It's for all ages, just bring an adult with you, here, there's kids. I put May and June together because I was actively collecting books for the annual book sale. So if you have some quality, I'm sorry, gently used books that you're willing to part with, bring them to the library between now and May 28th. During normal business hours, and they will be part of the sale, which will happen on June 7th, the same weekend as the community yard sale throughout the borough. However, this year will not be at HAL, it'll be in Demick Park under the pavilion, so slight venue change. So we've been lucky the last few years, it hasn't rained, but now we have cover, so maybe it will. So we'll see how that goes. House closed like everybody else did for Memorial Day, which is, I think, the 26th of the month. Whole bunch of other things I didn't give enough time to, but certainly if you visit their website or their Facebook page, all updated information can be found there. And that's all I have for the HAL report time.
Thank you. Mark? Go ahead.
Oh, I just have agenda items on off the bench.
Brian?
Yeah, just agenda.
Kathy?
Just agenda items.
I see, I would even try it, chief.
Just briefly, I just wanted to bring one thing up. We have had some old tasers electronic control device that we haven't utilized in a number of years since we upgraded ours. It just been sitting in storage. I recently found a local police department who could put these to use. And I've just asked, I found a place that we could sell them to. It's a business out of Florida. A local, who can, they have the same model, would still be willing to use them and willing to give us a very close price to what the place in Florida would. They just refurbish them and then resell them to police departments at, 6-7 times the price. I'm asking council, I'd rather sell them to a local police department, could utilize them. And
Is there any liability that's with the sale, all assumed liability?
it's all as is, I know they do other chief pretty well. I wrote up a agreement of sale, I have Mike take a look at it. But I think I have all of the proper languages put in of the exact equipment that we are selling, but there is no transfer to another police department, there's no.
And you said there's really no difference in price to that local police department versus the company that refurbishes them.
They give you a price, very close, very similar, but they also won't give you a firm price until they get them in there.
See what this condition is, but
And-
the police department will give you the price.
They're giving me the price that I'm asking, we are very fair and reasonable.
So, Mike, I do have a question. How much is it?
Yeah,
How much you
how
selling?
much is it?
$1,500.
Does that have,
It's below the, I think it's.
Criminals.
Yes, the minimum.
so do we need, technically it's a
You
municipality
may have to do a
transfer.
resolution, let me just check.
I'm trying to see if it can be done tonight or if we need to
Right.
do paperwork.
Right.
Jack, BT?
No, he uses a different solution.
I think it's fine, you guys can keep going on with my head. Personal property. If council estimates the fair market value to be 2,000 or more, then you have to advertise, so that wasn't that. Then I would just put it as a resolution, so for next meeting.
Okay, so next meeting.
Yeah, and he's got the agreement, which
Yeah,
looks good. right?
that's fine, yeah.
Right, so we can add that to the 19th of this one. You can have a piece made back,
We save money.
yeah, 7 cents.
We use that.
Oh, yeah. Put it in a folder.
Back in copier.
That's right, that's what I'm saying, reuse that,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Right. Anything else, Jim?
The only other item is on the agenda.
Okay. Tina's not here tonight. Barry is not here tonight.
But we do have a couple things for Barry.
Yep.
First of all, I'd like to extend our sympathy to Barry in the loss of his brother, who recently passed away, so, that's the reason he's not here tonight. So if everyone
And
could,
Jake too, his uncle, right? Well,
Yeah.
it's two,
Yeah.
it's
Jake, yeah.
Jake Johnny's uncle and then
and
Barry's,
Jake's,
yeah, so.
yeah, okay, I thought you were referring to Jake.
No, yeah, no, it's technically multiple employees. Condolences to the entire family.
And also, we do have the spring yard waste collection on the agenda for the week of June 23rd.
Okay. We have, looks like April 2025 permits. Any questions for zoning? All right, we'll move right along then. Don't think we have anything else on 1, 2, or 3. Did we get
Just-
any false alarm data from the last, any updated false alarm data?
Yeah, we're getting those from the police department now, so.
So the fire company has not yet provided
No.
any of those, which is. My memory is correct. We keep tabling these because we're not getting the data from the fire department. Is that correct?
That is,
Yes.
But we found a workaround. The police is able to give us that data.
Good workaround.
It is a good work.
Yeah, I think originally we had asked that the county send it to the borough directly, and I thought the fire company said they wanted to. Forget the use of word, massage it or filter it to make sure it was
Make sure it was-
correct, because there's some oddities or something. I think that's why they wanted to be part of that process, but that's been months,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
at least
January.
January.
Yeah, something
I
like that.
think
Yeah.
and then the borough policy on daytime coverage and volunteer tax credits, the larger plan that we want to see from Dewey on.
That's still outstanding.
That's still from the DCED
Yeah.
study.
Yeah.
We're waiting on that, thanks.
Wanted to check on why it's been tabled for so many months.
So we don't forget about it.
That's right.
Well, yes, right, right, because we're.
Leave it on the agenda, we won't forget about it, we've gotten too many predicaments over the last couple of years on that, sure. All right, Dimick Park shed placement. I think,
Picture.
Hello, council. My name is Leah Casella. I have the privilege of serving as the president of the Saucon Valley Diamond Sports Hellertown Lower Saucon Little League. And you've always been very supportive of all of our efforts. We have over 300 children that are playing this season, and we're happy to see the numbers going up. We are respectfully requesting the ability to move the shed from the red shed. I think everyone knows the shed we're talking about. To relocate that shed, and we have a picture
I'm
that's
getting that.
about to be presented.
I was gonna go like,
Some technical challenges this evening.
That's,
can you take a volunteer or someone else to handle the Zoom?
I wasn't sure if it was, because I clicked on the pictures that were, there we go. Okay, thank you. So that is what the placement of the shed would be, and what it would look like from council's picture from the, like one of the display from the last meeting. And it would be a significant improvement for us to be able to have that. First, because we're unable to get the equipment from where it is now and near that shed to actually get it to the location where it needs to be used without going on the street. Additionally, that ends up limiting the amount of maintenance that we can do on the fields without that equipment. And specifically, we have one field that is the only field that the girls use, and they do not have real access. Yeah, I think it's okay. Access to the kind of equipment they need to maintain the field. The bleachers that are currently present there, I believe that I've seen them before for a long period of time over by the softball field. I don't know why they're there and not by the softball field, but that there are bleachers that are there that are small and they're movable.
Thank you for the photos, but they look much nicer than what I tried to generate through AI of,
Yeah, no.
I think, I mean, it was Copilot.
Oh, okay.
But
Microsoft also.
I still have the same concerns that I had in September of 2023 and last meeting, that right now the bleachers provide a nice, right, they're low to the ground, you can practically see through them, even with the chain link fence. It doesn't provide a division of the line of sight within our open space. I feel that inserting a 10 by 15 shed where you cannot see through the walls of the shed provides a division in the open space in the park. And 10 feet or 15 feet, it's not open space that was there. I would be open to finding a way to make it so that you can get, I believe it was a tractor over the swale that I think fundamentally do not belong in our borough parks regardless, but that we find a temporary solution for when the tractor needs to come into that field or over to that field. That we put a ramp or something. I just don't think a shed in the middle of open space, ball fields, playgrounds makes good sense, and I think it actually undoes a lot of the work that our borough has done to maintain open space in our community, in the park specifically.
Back in 2023, so we talked about this the last time. Was it the same time where? What? Was, I think, one of the proposals at the time was to add a permanent fence on the softball field. Was the initial place of this fence at this batting cage or the batting cage down by the softball field?
I can get up and speak. The original location that was gone over with zoning here and that was set in, that you guys looked at was. Barry and I tried to come up with somewhere where it would work. So the original drawing, I think, was next to those batting cages.
By the softball field, because I remember when I'm trying to, I think the original place that was proposed 2 years ago was not here.
No.
The original place was down by the batting cage between the softball field and what, I don't know.
It's a farm, it's a.
The farm, I was gonna say farm field,
It's
the minor
9
league
and 10
field.
year olds and that.
I don't, it's been many years since I played baseball, so, and this was, so that was the original spot, and definitely putting a shed in the middle of the field was a big unanimous no. And also closing that fence off was that back at that time, I think. So I'm just trying to piece together
I believe it was the elevation too.
right, because you would block.
You would see it from the street. I remember you guys talking
Yeah.
about it. Barry told me, you'd see it from the street. That location, I mean, there's the playgrounds there, there's a batting cage behind it. It provides a backstop for the batting cage too. But I mean, we have volunteers that take care of this stuff to make it any harder on them. Like it's every day that there's 3 fields up there. So, I mean, we're not pushing it. I understand nobody wants more buildings in the park. I don't think it looks any different than the bleachers. I think you can't see it through the trees anyway. That's the only spot you can see it unless you go all the way to the end of Constitution, all the way to the other side all summer long. But we need something. We're trying to do this for the borough too. It's not just for us. We don't have any selfish intentions on putting a shed there. We take care of all those fields. It's all done through fundraising. You guys cut the grass, you provide the park for us. We appreciate it. But we have a giant vested interest in that park is, if I'm wrong, somebody correct me, it's primarily used for youth sports.
Yeah.
And it's us at football, and half the people that are on the boards for football are on our baseball board too, where they participate, we share back and forth. I mean, we take care of all those fields. I've worked more hours on those fields in the past 10 years, and my kid doesn't even play on them. Her kids are gone. We're not doing it for our kids. We're doing it for future, for everybody else's kids that come, so they can continue to get taken care of. I don't know what other solution there is if we're stuck on something. It was, like I mentioned in the last meeting, it was to get everything out from underneath the bleachers. It's a safety concern with stuff, because that's the only storage up there that's dry. But those fields are big, they're hard to take care of, they're expensive to take care of. I mean, I don't know, I'd have to look at our budget, but my budget's $20-some thousand a year just to take care of those 5 fields in that park. And we use every bit of it. Infield mix is $1,100 a load. We spend a lot of money taking care of them. And we get lots of compliments.
Very well, very well.
But I definitely am not saying that you don't do a great job, right? I think it's a question of, you do such a great job that putting something to obstruct a 10 by 15 box that you cannot view through is obstructing the through, right? Like, if I stood by the bleachers and I wanted to look on the other side of the park, I would be able to see it. If I stand on the other side of a shed and I want to look at the other side of the park, I can't see it, because you can see through chain link. You can't see through wood. And I think, moving the shed to where where it is. There was a reason or a rationale before that. We did look at, I'm looking for the date because I have a hand-drawn drawing after council had made a decision in 2023 that was, it was actually proposed shed on a 12 by 18 stone pad. That was right there between the playground, the park road and the shed. So in the same place that council came back and said no to. I guess what I would like to focus our solution on is what needs to be done to make the current location of the shed usable. And is it, when I questioned the use of the tractor last time, because I don't understand the equipment that's used to need it, right, for what you need it for, is can we provide a solution that will allow you to drive the said tractor over the swale? Or are there other storage opportunities that is not a 10 by 15 shed? And one of the other, behind that, I've never played baseball or softball.
Scandal.
Not sure, I did play t-ball, jokes. Behind the batter's box, there's like I'm gonna call it a deck box. You probably have another term for it.
Yeah, you can't put a tractor in it. Deck box.
Okay, so explain to me again why the tractor isn't useful in the shed where it is now.
Because you can't drive the tractor. There's no way to get that tractor up to the other fields without going out on the road.
And it's the swale that prevents the tractor from driving to.
The distance, but yeah, this way, yeah.
So is there not an opportunity to put,
Swell's been there since that.
is there not an opportunity to put something that would allow the tractor to drive over the swale?
I think we'd have to worry about stormwater and the volume of water that's
Yeah.
coming. That it'll just.
If you're
rip
going
it.
up over the bank, we'd have
Yeah.
to try to stabilize.
We already
it.
have to worry about the water because the
would-
swales aren't
yeah.
big enough for it.
It wouldn't be feasible. You have to make a wider bridge.
And how the tractor would need to go from the said shed out into the parking lot around Durham and then into the park from Durham. So from the parking lot between, say, Dewey and the shed, so 50 feet of road. Did
Or
we
like-
need to cover?
Probably 300 down and 50 to 100 up to the other entrance and then all the way back up the park road. We're all the way up top by the building where the snack stand are. On both those sheds, there's two sheds back. They're sitting there because obviously we couldn't put this one somewhere else and we stuck it right there just for, we have nowhere else to put it. You guys agreed we could put it there down by the. But it's too far away. That kind of serves everything for the younger kids in T-ball, the yellow shed that's down there right now next to the snack stand. And then that shed was to hopefully serve, like I said last time, it's the older kids, girls softball, all of girls softball. And then the other younger kids that play in those top fields. So somehow we could get something closer to all them. We have a hard enough time getting coaches and volunteers rather than coaches and volunteers to take care of things. So the same people have been doing most of it, but we have good people coming up, but everybody kind of gets burnt out. So a lot of us are there working on those all the time just to make sure these 300 and some odd kids have nice fields to play on. I don't know what the solution is. I wish I never thought that it would be a big, there's the football buildings behind it. There's another shed, there's another garage, there's a giant playground, chain link. To me,
There's no.
I respectfully disagree that it takes up any open space. I don't see any difference.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Sure.
So where it's all the way down below, so if you had to drive it from all the way down below, up and around, how much time would that take you, do you think? Each time to drag a field,
I don't know.
10 minutes?
No, it takes you at least 10 minutes to drive up there.
All right, that's what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
How many times a year, how many fields are you dragging? Up on
Well,
top?
people are required to do them after every single game or
Okay,
practice.
so how many times a year are you doing that?
Oh, it's every
Every
day
day.
during the season.
Okay,
Every
so
single day.
you're talking about hours and hours and
Oh,
hours
yeah.
volunteer time.
Yes,
Just moving a tractor from where it is up to the upper field.
absolutely.
So it's
It's
a
just
lot of
wear,
time.
it's wear and tear on the equipment. People
I was
driven,
about to
people
say,
have driven
speed
through the
bump.
swell.
Oh,
That's
and-
not fun.
And I'm sure that the speed bump doesn't do any good to the deck either.
It's not. But people have driven through the swell. Like new coach, there's been people stuck in the swell, like we've had to get people out of the swell.
I mean,
Is this a matter that gets voted on or?
I'm gonna actually. I don't
Is it-
remember,
It does get voted on. Is there there's not an opportunity to use the existing building that's up there? Like, I don't know,
No, it's full, it's football and
Yeah,
cheerleading
football.
storage and
Yeah.
pads and it's all there along. We try to work together as much as we can, but they have a lot more equipment even than we do, so
Their space is very tight.
we work with them. I mounted hoses for us today and hose reels and stuff so we can keep the fields wet and less dusty. I had the day off today, that's where I was all day. But
and I was actually up there on Saturday morning. There's quite a few sheds up by the football field house behind it, to your point on the other side. I believe the football field house is maroon. I think that's just the color.
white and maybe white and black and maroon.
White, black,
White,
and
black
maroon.
and red are the colors, but it's
Yeah.
probably.
pull up what you mean by football shed.
Right behind those big bleachers behind there, there's another giant building.
Yeah, there's a huge building back there.
Well, right there, hold on.
And we've also, I mean, I wanna guess by looking at the plans, cause I build facilities for a living and. Your basketball courts, we lost 12 to 15 parking spots just by looking at the plans. I didn't actually measure it. But it gives us, we're getting 5 back down below by the snack stand if we move.
Well,
that
it does detract from the lower fields a little bit with the clutter.
Mhm.
Cause I remember, I mean, if you go back to the infield mix used to be stored underneath the bleachers. That we all got yelled at for playing on, and before they were refurbished, but so that's where that used to store, so that material bin wasn't down there. I think you probably lost a lot more parking down there than
Yeah, we
one
recently, I
realized.
think we recently just spent maybe $2,500 in the last couple of years too, buying more blocks from Cecilia donated some, we bought some. But we
I'm
built
gonna
that
Google
bin
this,
higher,
sorry.
so it'd be a little less. Messy. Yeah, has anybody been in that park too? I mean, obviously today you had a big event there, but when there's T-ball going on, we've had some comments lately that the T-ball parents coming up are it's 37 degrees out and raining and there's 4 teams out there playing.
They're beasts.
But coming down that road even just to bring tractors, even pulling out of there, there's so many kids and parents coming out of there.
Yeah.
Get theirs.
We're excited because
There you go. I think this is the closest I'm gonna get to it, just because Google doesn't go in the park.
And that's the,
Concession.
This is the football field house that I use sports,
viewing from Tobias.
Constitution.
Constitution.
Yeah, so if we go down here, I'm just gonna see if I can. So
All right.
This
Who's
is-
in the way a lot of these pictures?
this is the bleachers where the shed
Yeah.
essentially was in that other picture. And then if you go over here,
Yeah, is there an opportunity to put the shed closer to the buildings that are already existing?
We tried, we walked around with Barry to look at that, and there isn't a location that could be used unless a tree comes down. And I don't think we want to do that.
Is it a mature tree that has been
Yeah.
eaten by those?
Right.
Yeah, that has been bitten by the ash borer?
I don't believe it
It's
is.
not an ash tree, yeah.
yeah, those would be, probably this tree or that tree, right?
Yeah, it's that one right there.
Right, yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah.
And then there's dumpsters all underneath that.
Yeah.
The tree to the left has 3 dumpsters underneath it and
Yeah.
Kathy, did our public works director have a recommendation on this?
He is, they've discussed and he agrees that that would be the best location. This new proposed would be the best location.
I think that's how we got to this location
In
to
the, yeah.
begin with, because they originally
Because
proposed
Barry
on the
did
lower.
meet with that.
it's just the original suggestion.
Yeah.
Was there. It provides a backstop for that batting cage against the playground too. As much money as we spend on those batting cages, balls get out and scare everybody and it'll provide a little bit more of a backstop and a blockage to that, to the new playground from there.
Could the shed be painted green to match? The,
If we get it, yes, I think we probably.
The shed's in very good.
I looked at the shed,
Because it
when
would
I was
actually,
over to look at the bleachers.
why the
okay.
visibility would be no better, it would blend in better, and everything else around, including some of the infrastructure of the playground.
Well, I am opposed to blocking
Yeah.
the line of sight. I would be more in favor if we could paint it a green that blends in with the grass and the trees. And I do not want to detract from the amazing work that you all do for the youth. Right? This is my thoughts and opinion about maintaining open space in our Borough Park. I'm not saying you don't do the work. I drive on Constitution and regularly see you out there on the fields. To the point that sometimes I wonder if you live there, because you were there so frequently.
Sure.
Alex. So I want to make sure that my questions or, you know, dissent to this is in no way speaking in or thinking that you don't do a lot of work, because you do. And the parks look as well as they do in our baseball fields, and I'd like to preserve that view of open space because of the way those fields are maintained. So I am appreciative of that.
That don't take away from your public works either, because all you guys are great and. Like if you can make a phone call and something gets done within a day, always, so if not, I call Kathy and she yells at him.
They're very proud of themselves.
Yeah, we're very proud of our parks. So while I am not in favor of the shed being moved, I would be a little bit less dissenting if it blended in. And I'd be willing to make that.
That being said, I'd like to make a motion that we give this.
So we've got a,
Well, we have got conflict, so we got a first, I'm gonna, a partial first with a color change.
I don't know if I made the motion.
Yeah, I don't know, that sounds like, do we?
I think you seek clarification.
I was seeking clarification, is that a motion to approve it with a color change? I think we have a motion coming from here, so,
But we have some hand raised in the back.
and then we have a Mr. Earl out there.
My only concern. If that shed goes there, I'm a resident of there. Long time resident, and I drive there all the time. I realize if it's there to paint, match it in, and guarantee me, as a resident, that there's no concrete blocks go behind it with ground. That's to me is not something I want to see.
I mean, everything
I'm not
that's
sure I
changed.
understand.
No material storage outside the shed.
Especially if you look at where it's at now. By the way, I did drive by and check it. You have the two concretes between the two sheds you have there.
Oh, yeah.
And the ground in there. I don't want to see concrete blocks and ground behind that shed.
The concrete blocks were down there before that shed.
I know some of it. I understand that. You guys.
You just don't want it to be on
That's
there.
not my,
Yeah, we don't wanna put another one up there anyway, no,
but
no.
I would be the first to be screaming at this council.
You can come find me on Will.
I will, I'll Maple, so you're not.
Yeah. You can throw a baseball at my windows.
Probably can. So you're on the 400 block, I can get you.
This made a motion, did not make a motion.
No, did not make a motion. So do you wanna make a motion?
I would like to make a motion, we grant the ability to place the shed in the area requested.
And I would.
with the color change.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, with the addendum of the color change.
I know concrete blocks.
Granted.
So Mike's motion is to approve.
Is that you give us a little bit, because we're right in the middle of the season, it's gonna. I don't know how long, it doesn't take long to, we'll get stone down for it, I know Barry will work with me on that, but. Just give me a little bit to get it painted, we need to paint the one down by.
So what's a reasonable time frame?
Paxton.
And perpetuity is not gonna work,
August,
right?
Next season?
July, August,
Next year?
August,
That's fine,
August.
yeah, absolutely, we get a break in between, I just,
Between spring ball and.
between spring ball and fall ball, then
There's a-
we'll get it.
2-week breather.
The time frame of August.
Do we have a first?
Yeah, I did that.
I have the first from Mike. Do we have a second?
I will second it.
I have a second from Liz. I have a question from the engineer. Tell me we do not need an engineering study, MDMS permits, DCEC approval.
These lights.
If it is, your mic's going off.
It's the paint.
You could just make a request, that the green kind of match the other green color that we've been using in the park. So a lot of the roads have dark.
color?
Yeah.
Or is
So that
it-
you know.
That's.
Copy, I provide the copy.
That's all right.
Okay,
That's fine, we need to paint the other shed down there anyway, I'll do them both, we'll get somebody to do them both at the same time.
okay.
That sounds like fun.
I have a
Thank-
first from Mike, a second from Andrew, Liz, sorry.
Hey, what's the motion again?
Usually. I
You only had to use that twice before, I
Make the
think.
motion to move the shed
Could've been
with the,
beautiful.
with the painted, the green, the,
Or the engineer.
or the engineer's green.
Thorough
Ion.
green.
By August.
Nothing outside of it, block,
Materials, storage outside
material.
We all good?
We're good.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those no? Thank you.
Then we'll have a ribbon cutting.
Yeah, that'll come in.
But if we got this big, that's okay.
We can say that our 12-year-old baseball team was really good last year. We lost to Southern Lehigh by 1 run, but they actually only lost to the one you saw from Pennsylvania on the Little League World Series by 1 run.
Mhm.
So there's chance, we all hope that we might be back there, so come watch the games.
Please come.
We have a really good little kids program. We have a really good older program. If you guys don't watch high school baseball right now, you have one of the best kids in the country here right now, so. You should see him playing in college and pros. I'm not saying any names, but you have a bunch of other ones following him, so. we have
Lots of really
awesome.
good things happening. So thank you for. supporting.
Appreciate your willingness to work with us.
Thank
Yes,
you.
thank you.
Thank you for all you guys
Thank
do.
you.
Yes, thank you.
Healthcare plan adjustments.
Oh, wait, there's more. Yeah, so Tom, this is in reference to what the committee recommended last meeting. Which was in the slide deck, but I'll just kind of cover the recommendations again. One was the prohibits the use of GLP-1 for non-diabetes treatments.
Thank you.
Change the ER emergency room copay from 35 to 150. Change the OB or specialist copay from $10 to $40 and default to the restricted generic substitute for prescriptions. Those were the recommendations that the finance committee had planned for 2026.
I'll take that as a
That is
motion.
the motion.
Okay.
And we're just waiting for the actuarial study for those cost estimates.
Yeah.
And I would make a second on that.
All right, the first from Andrew, second from Lindley. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed, no. Hearing none, the motion carries. Brian.
Yes, in regards to payment application from Cobalt. So after the meeting last month, we did meet with Cobalt out on site. And we have rejected the bollard that was damaged and they have reordered it. So once it arrives, they will remove that one and replace it with a new one. So that will,
And
Place
redo
that
the
one.
paving
I'm sorry,
and the paving.
and then they're also repairing the paving, yes, correct.
So based upon that, this should be tabled because this is paying for that work.
So this payment application is, it's for 23,400. Of that 20,000 is actually for the handrail. And then the balance is for the bollards. The bollard line item is actually $8,000. They're only asking for 6. So they're actually not even asking for the full amount, even though all the others have been installed.
Was
So
there,
we would still recommend.
Was there anything addressed with the uneven of the pavement and the lip between?
Yeah, so you just.
Yeah, they're gonna correct that as well.
And then they
So
did the final grading and seating.
Yes. And so right now there's
Good code.
there's still a balance of 40% of the project left, being held as well.
What's the wish of council?
And then there's the 15% retainage. also.
10%. Yeah, we also are retaining 10% on the entire project.
I will motion to approve.
Maybe first from Terry. Second from Mike. All those in favor of paying as stipulated signify by saying aye. Anybody opposed, no?
No.
One no, rest ayes. Agreed? Right. New business. Yay. Approval of resolution 25-A. The good old 1988 Pontiac sedan.
And
Get rid of it.
Yeah, I make a motion, we accept as presented.
First from Mike, second from Andrew. All of those in favor signify by saying aye.
Discussion for our public transparency. Do we want to discuss where this is and why we're getting rid of it?
So, yes, I can. This was a car that was given us by Northampton County Drug Task Force for drug operations. It has not been used and has been parked and deteriorating for a number of years. And it's junk. It can't be rehabbed or anything like that. So I was able to get the title and we are getting rid of it finally, as it should have been years ago.
Yeah, I actually thought we did get rid of it.
I thought we did get rid of it too.
So,
We did not.
well, clearly,
Yeah, it's back.
27 million.
There was a lot of people working on that at one point, and Jim was the only one that has accomplished it.
That's probably what it is, yes. Here it was the Gene. So,
Thanks.
All right, having a first and second, any additional discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed, no. Hearing none, the motion carries. Approval of resolution 25-9, termination of Robert Shoup's pension benefit and return of employee contributions.
yeah, I make a motion that we accept 9.2 as just described.
Second.
Second from, first from Andrew, second from Matt. Any additional discussion?
No, we'll take it to the planning commission, just they can review it too.
Pension.
Sorry.
All those,
Well,
The plan.
planning may like us.
All I thought this be presented to the
We-
actual,
For her to prepare, I mean, Laura,
well, that's what council's directing her to do now.
correct?
Yeah.
So wouldn't
Yeah,
wouldn't she have that to present to
we
the
would want
planning
that,
commission?
we would want
Just say
that.
that. Pension.
Pension.
Sorry, Cap, that's my mistake.
That was not on the agenda.
that's one way to chase them all away.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so I have a first and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed, no. Hearing none, the motion carries. Approval of resolution 25-10. Oh boy. GTRP for Tumanello Park.
Yeah, so this is a DCED grant program for greenways, trails, recreation and parks. This is for the Tumanello project. This would be essentially the match that would be used for like a DCNR grant. So we're requesting it's 230,000 from this program, and it's a 15% match.
So if awarded the 30
Would be-
thousand, we are then required to pay 15% of that
So
if
there would,
awarded.
it would be 15%, yes, but that match would come from like DCNR or a county. We've had multiple other grant applications, so we're using this as a counter match.
And what's the general time frame on this, Brian?
So this would be, typically it's announced late fall. So this would be for a 2026 project.
Brian, I
So
know,
no cash outlay, but
Yeah,
for-
right.
if
Thank you.
awarded,
Right.
right.
so any of the proposed plans or conceptual plans included. This is all flood friendly, correct?
Absolutely, yeah.
Right.
And it's all also part of the Greenway plan.
Right,
yeah,
Just
yeah.
completed.
Correct.
Yeah,
So this
because I know
is-
that's an underdeveloped borough resource.
Right.
That I think many years ago we added that parking lot and that simple loop, but we haven't actually accomplished much down at that facility.
Yeah, this is a pretty significant connection that we're sort of lacking right now. It connects the Saucon Rail Trail to essentially the southern end of the borough and most specifically the commercial district, the shopping center district. So this will allow residents to really access, the shopping center much easier. They won't be on Main Street as much. It really creates a key connection. This bridge, pedestrian bridge will go over the mill race. So it will also provide for, information, historic, just narrative about the grist mill and how it operates as well. So,
Just making sure we have several rain gardens in here.
well, there's nothing proposed on that.
Sorry, I had to.
I thought you were gonna ask how many swales were in it.
No, I was going for the whole kit and caboodle. So,
So, and then ultimately with the overall Greenway plan, there is proposed additional recreation in this site, but that would come later. This is just creating that first connection.
I would motion to approve.
This wasn't the location of the overlook that was in the.
No, that's separate, that was March.
I think Terry made a motion to approve as presented.
I will second as long as there are no rain gardens or swales.
Well, no, I'm gonna make a motion to amend the motion to allow them.
Okay, agree.
So,
with Borough Green.
yeah, Burger. All right, so I have a first from Terry, a second from Liz. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? No. Hearing none, the motion carries. Award the 2025 road paving project to Broccolante Construction in the amount of $120,160. I just clicked on the link.
120, 169.
Thank you.
Where they came in at the lowest responsible bid.
Yes, it's in the package. There were 4 bidders total. Broccolante came in at 120, 169. Barker and Barker 141. H&K Group 127, and then Cheaper Contractors 144. So Broccolante, all documentation, necessary documentation was included, including bid bond. And just to let you know, this does include the alternate.
I would make a motion that we approve this as they did come in at the lowest responsible bid, and we have been quite pleased with their work previously.
I'll second that.
I have a first from Liz, a second from Andrew to award as stipulated. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? No. Hearing none, the motion carries. Council discussion request from Saucon Valley Land LLC to prohibit truck parking on Front Depot.
Between Depot and Sycamore.
Yeah, between Depot and Sycamore.
So in your packages, there's also a map and our current ordinance. And Chief, please feel free to jump in anytime.
Yeah.
Our current ordinance, because Front Street is in the industrial, does allow for truck parking up to 72 hours in certain areas. So we have not received any complaints. I don't know if you have.
I have not received any complaints.
Okay, so as it stands, our current ordinance does allow truck parking for 72 hours.
Because it's zoned industrial.
Because it is zoned industrial, and there are a lot of, different types of industrial buildings up there. So if council is going to entertain changing that, we do have to change the ordinance.
So can I key this up? I know Andrew.
Yeah, I have I guess a concern outside of the actual request. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this engineer on behalf of their client making this request is the entity that owes the borough $75,000 in delinquent property taxes.
That would be correct.
I make a motion. I don't think we should be considering to do anything for a
delinquent property tax person.
It's just like how we don't allow, if you don't have. If you're behind on your sanitation, you don't get a business license, right? So if we go through the expense of changing an ordinance when.
And not only that, I want to say that I see where these guys park, and I think they do responsibly.
Mhm.
And I think they also get rides to and from because they don't live around there. So,
Cause we offer very few places in the borough.
right,
Where
It is
we
the
can have,
only-
it's the
Yeah.
only place, there are residents in this borough that are absolutely do wanna come home on the weekends to their family.
yeah.
And friends, they need somewhere to park, and I don't think it's unreasonable, and it doesn't. They're not all over the place, it's respectable, I don't think I think we'll do more harm to the greater community.
And my understanding is that there are, drivers of the trucks who have come to our police department and asked where they can park. And this is one of the few places within the borough that is zoned, like that has a zoning that allows for 72-hour parking.
That's correct. From my understanding, we do have several residents who are truckers. So they do park their trucks in those particular areas. They do have family members who pick them up, or if they come home for lunch or what have you. Otherwise, I'm gonna be honest with you, within the borough, there's no place for these people, or these workers to park their vehicles. This is the only place we have.
And my understanding is from the municipal planning code, we are not allowed to zone out a particular entity or something, so it is actually against our municipal planning code to then say, nope, sorry, you don't have a place to park your vehicles or build this thing.
To your point, Liz, if we prevent it, it's allowed everywhere.
Right. It's
So-
more that way.
So if we prevent it from anywhere, and Mike, you can correct me if I'm wrong, it could be on Cedar, or it could be on,
Residential.
it could be a residential neighborhood that can't fit an F-250, let alone
And
tractor
cars-
trailer.
cars wouldn't be
Yeah,
able to
so,
pass.
so in emergency services wouldn't be able to pass, so,
So perhaps to, offer just a suggestion, it would be the police just periodically check where they're parked to make sure they're not obstructing the stop sign or, I have gotten no complaints and I don't believe the police, because we would know about them. So I would just, just to, offer a suggestion, it would just be to keep it as is and, just periodically check on it.
I agree.
And
So I have
there are ordinances that people are moving within 72 hours are not there for.
Yeah, no, absolutely no disagreement with that, what this council has shared in our intent, and the responsible folks are taking advantage of that, in a positive way. So I have confidence in the police department will keep, an eye, and if there's a problem, we'll take care of it. My questions for the solicitor, I have no interest in entertaining a property owner that owes us back property taxes, particularly since it's 65% of our outstanding, our delinquent property taxes. As I indicated earlier, $75,000 is significant, right? It's $500,000. So, is there a process that we can take this off the agenda?
If it's real estate taxes, that will go to the county.
It has gone.
Yeah, I know that it has, I'm actually on our agenda here. What's an appropriate action to take this off our agenda?
Do we motion to
deny.
So I make a motion, we deny.
All right, I'll second that motion.
I have a first from Liz, a second from Andrew to deny. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed, no. Hearing none. It is denied. Budget transfer from full-time PD to part-time PD.
So, speaking with Councilman Hughes last week again, one of the things that we've had with being short 3 officers right now, so our part-time officers work at basically a full-time officer rate. So the budget that I had proposed, we've already gotten there within the first quarter. I'm projecting out to try to plan because we are proposing a test very shortly. But in the interim, just to make the funds be realistic and where they're coming from, although it'll all end up in the wash, but right now we are over budget for the part-time officer rate. So I'm looking to pull some of the rate for the full-time officer and reallocate to the part-time officer.
Yeah, exactly that. First, it's budget neutral. This isn't any kind of increase. It's reallocating some funds from full-time officers that, Chief alluded to. He wish he has this, but they're not there, and he has to use part-time folks to do that. So this is more of an administrative, correction. So the budget reflects more accurately over the course of the year. I would definitely put forth a motion that we adopt the 9.6 as described by the police chief.
Second.
First from Andrew, second from Lindley. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed, no. Hearing none, the motion carries. Motion to pay the bills.
So moved.
Second.
First from Andrew, second from
I see. What?
Liz. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed, no. Hearing none, the motion carries. And cycling event. The will of council, consent agenda 10.1.
Make a motion, we accept as presented.
First from Mike,
Second.
second from Matt. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed, no. Hearing none, the motion carries. No additional announcements. I do want to announce that council did meet an executive session prior to this evening's meeting for personnel negotiations and potential litigation.
That being said, Tom, I'd like to make a motion, we go home.
Second from Andrew. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed, no. Hearing none, the motion carries. Thank you.
Yes.